pills. And then from pills, it got turned into doing heroin. But, you know, I was always the type of person who I always thought I had it under control. And, you know, after a while, I realized I didn't really have it under control. And I got in a little bit of troubles, and I ended up going to county for it. And while I was there, it was just, you know, it was a bad experience. And that's when it really hit me that I was in bad shape. So when I got out, they bailed me out. And then when I got out, you know, I met Redneck, and I went to U-turn. When I got to U-turn, I was miserable. You know, I didn't really like it. I wanted to go home. I didn't think it was the place for me. But then I said, you know, well, nothing's really helping, so I might as well stick it out and give it a try. And that's what I did. And you know, going there, I never picked up a Bible in my life. I never read the Bible, never picked it up. So you know, it was a little new to me. And then sitting in the Bible studies and stuff like that, you know, they started reading out of the Bible, and there's things in there you can relate, you know, to your everyday life. So you know, that's what got my attention. And it was like, man, somebody's telling me something here, you know. And now 2 months later down the road, you know, because they take things away from you, and you know, when you're there, you realize you took life for granted before you got there. You know, you really did. And then after taking away the things, makes you, you know, opens your eyes up a little bit. You know, you can either go back down that path, or you can choose to stay on the straight path. And I know that without, you know, I don't know what you guys believe in, but without God, I ain't going to be able to stay on that path, because, you know, it's just something you got to look forward to. And I have faith, and I know there's a verse in the Bible. It's 1 Corinthians.
Okay, Sean.
1 Corinthians 10:13. There hath no temptation taken you but such as is common to man. For God is faithful, who will never not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may able to bear. And to me that's saying, you know, God's going to put trials in front of you, but He's not going to put nothing in front of you that you ain't going to be able to overcome with Him. And I realize that, so, you know, I'm going to stand in the Word, and, you know, I'm glad and I'm thankful for everything. And since then, you know, it's showed a lot of blessings to me. You know, a lot of things have been going my way. And that's what, you know, I enjoy it, and I'm going to stay with it, so.
Great.
I'm very proud of it, and you can see the difference in it, that's for sure. It's like night and day when he comes home from this place. The thing I like about it the most is all my life I've always been a Catholic, and I always believed in God, and I always had problems praying, you know, to God. Like I couldn't pray. But he showed me now, you wouldn't believe what he showed me, how to pray, and he showed me the right path, you know, and just with my mouth, you know, the way I speak to people, the way I used to speak to people, but how he's changed me in that aspect. And I'm amazed. I'm amazed at what that place has done to him. I really am. And how it's changed his life. I mean, he went from nothing to look at him now.
It was always in him, you know. It was always in him.
And we read every day together now, and it's really woken my eyes up too, and showed me how to cope with this, you know. And being here with you people now, I'm excited. I'm excited to be here, and I hope I can stick with it. And I'm glad. Yeah.
It's great. Thank you.
Most addicts, we do what we want to do when we want to do it, and we want it now, right now. We don't want nobody telling us what we're supposed to be doing. Well, they take it away from you, you know. They give you structure, they give you something else to look for. And this is stuff you got to look at is, these places like this are 93% success rate of finishing. Most treatment centers, and I'm not down in treatment, I'm not down in nothing, but most treatment centers are anywhere from 22% to 38, 39% success rate. You know, so these are the things we're looking at. But most importantly is, you know, we tried, and most of us that we're going, how many times have, I mean, honestly, if nobody, James, how many times have you been in a treatment center?
5.
I mean, how many, some of us know people have been in there 15, 20 times. You know, so why keep trying the same thing and nothing's working? That's insanity.
Everybody's in the same struggle, and you got to really humble yourself, and that's what it comes down to. I mean, it's sad to say it, but you really got to humble yourself, and when you get that, and you know it's time, and that's what it took for me.
Once I quit, I didn't go back. The reason being is I completely surrendered. That's why I didn't relapse. That's the one thing about recovery. That's the one thing with anybody I talk to in City of Angels that I cannot relate to is a relapse. I know why we do it. I came close to it, but I never did because I surrendered. It's so much easier for us to realize, most of us come crawling, I need help, so we've admitted we're an addict. But until you surrender, saying, you know what, if I'm alive for 100 years, and I'm walking the face of this earth for another 100 years, I can never, ever, ever do this thing again. You know, and once you come to terms with that, man, you've got half the battle won. And see, the thing about it is we don't expect you to just 100% wake up one morning and say, I mean, can it be done? Absolutely, but most of us ain't going to do it. Wake up one morning and say, I'm done. I ain't doing it no more. All you need is 51%. 51% is all you need, and you've already got half the battle beat right there. So, you know, we're all trying 100% to, you know, to get up and say, I'll never do it again, and by the end of the day, we failed. All we need is just try to get that 51% that I'm going to do this, you know. And this is why I wanted to read this, because it is good. It's, yeah, right here at the top here. Okay, it starts off at the first foot. They are angry. Each time they stick that shovel into the dirt, it is my face they see. They are cursing me and saying things like, who does this guy think he is? At the second foot, the fight is getting knocked out of them a little bit. They start thinking, okay, God, maybe they are right. Maybe you do have something to talk about with me. Here I am, I'm listening. And their heart begins to soften to hear from the Lord. By the time they reach the third foot, they have tears of repentance in their eyes. God has revealed their sin to them, and they are broken before Him. The fourth foot is about freedom. Many have said it was at the fourth foot that they met God and wanted to stay in that place with Him forever. The fifth and final foot is a place of victory. This is where they recognize the victory over their sin is from God. Now they can walk in that victory for the rest of their lives. They can bury the sin right there and walk away transformed. You know, so, and I tell you, when I first went to this place and I stayed the weekend with the guys because I wanted to check it out, I came home and I got this wild idea to go behind my shed and try this. Now, New Jersey, we got soft dirt. It probably would have took me no time. And I ain't going to lie to you, this is to show you. This is to show you that as much as I was committed to figure out what this was all about, I didn't do it. I couldn't do it. I made it, I don't know, 5 or 6 shovel loads, and that was it. I'm being honest. I'm being honest, and I'm going, you know what, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it, you know, next time what I'll do is I'll do it when I know I can have enough time to do it. What I was doing is making excuses. See, here, when you go to a place like this, even though you don't want to do it and you don't believe you belong there, and, you know, you're cussing and screaming, and, you know, this ain't for me, once you start it, man, you know, in one aspect, you don't have no choice. You might as well go ahead and accept it and do it. Number one, you've probably been in a half a dozen treatment centers already. You know, number two is, if any of you, those of you that have been to Tennessee and know where this is at, it's not like you got a whole lot of choices of going left or right. That's pretty much it. That's, look at everybody putting their head down. You see what I'm saying? But my point is that once you get hold of this and you just say, you know what, it's too much. The first phase is 2 months long. You spend more time damaging your life, damaging your body, damaging your family, and it's 2 months out of your life to try something different. Because every other way you tried it yourself, and Sean said it, he tried it himself. And most of us, I don't think there's nobody around this table that's ever dealt with recovery or addiction, whether you're an addict or whether you're a family member, that could see that it ever worked for somebody to try it on their own. In 2011, we buried 3 people. In the beginning of 2012, 2 more were buried. This stuff is, it's gonna take you out. I used for a lot of years, and I'm close to 50 years old, and I've tried everything in my life to find something to numb the pain that as addicts that we go through. And I have tried everything, and I've never been able to find nothing except for God. Everybody's got their own view, everybody's got their own opinion, but all I found is one God that's going to take care of this, plain and simple. There's one God and one God alone. How you find it, I don't know. What we do is we find it best way. Is there other places out there? Yeah. But you don't necessarily have to go to a place to find God. You can find Him in your own bedroom. You get down on your knees and you just reach up and ask Him. That's how easy it is. But there's some of us that's got issues that we got to deal with, where maybe we don't feel like we're worthy, maybe we don't feel like we deserve it. Whatever the reason that you ain't looking forward and reaching out and having God come into your life, sometimes we need a place to go to where we can find it, where we're kind of forged to it in a way. Because it's structure, and when you know, people say, well, you know what, redneck, this place is crazy, that you know, they don't, you know, they tell me this and they're praying all the time, and every kid that's went there's told me this. You know, but what it is think about it, guys, what we do when we were getting high. We got up in the morning, we got high, and we spent the rest of the day trying to figure out how we're going to do it again, and that's all we thought about, 24 hours a day. Well, what places like this does is it turns out, it takes that out of your life, and it brings God into your life. So yeah, you're reading the Bible quite a bit, you're praying every moment you can, and you're staying focused on something else other than this lifestyle. You know, I've seen too many people go down. I've seen so many of you young kids sit here and wonder what's going on and why is my life so messed up? And, you know, well, most of the time if you look in the mirror, you'll see why your life's messed up. It's you. It's what you're doing. It's the life that you're living. You know, and guys, I mean, Sean's not the only person that's done it, you know. Sean's the only one that I can grab right now that can come in and explain it. And there's other places. You Turn for Christ ain't the only place in the United States that we can go to learn this and to get away from this lifestyle. You know, and to find a higher power that we can depend on and you know, and trust. And it's faith. Because every one of them, the first week that they're there, what did you want? You know, and you stick it out, and what happens is you find out that there's something other more to think about than getting high. You know, this is people open up their Bible and they shut it because they don't understand. You're not supposed, not made for you to understand. It's made through, it's a growth. It's the same thing as starting school. In kindergarten, what did we start with? We started with crayons and well, they never gave me crayons. But you see what I'm saying? We start off at one step and then we move on to first grade. So Bibles, to me, and this is my opinion, the Bible just works the same way. You read it all the way through, and as you're reading it, you're growing. And every time you read it, you're going to learn something new because you move to a different part in your walk. And that's how it works. That's how spirit. I'm not a religious person. I don't understand really what religion is all about. But I know what a relationship is. And that's what I've found. You know, that's what people like a lot of us sitting around the table have found. You know, is a relationship. The religion part, I don't know if I'll ever understand that. No disrespect, Bill, but
it's spiritual. You're spiritual.
Exactly. You know.
It's not about the religion, it is a relationship.
What's that?
It's not about religion, it's about relationship.
Exactly.
It's, I tell you, since he's been home, I found a relationship with Jesus that you wouldn't believe. And I live by it every day now, and it's I have to have it. Jesus is like a drug to me now. I have to have it, I swear. I'm not kidding you.
With that.
And it gets me through the day. And that's all I think about.
I go to church and always ask them to go with me.
I didn't know how to talk to Jesus at all. I lost him in my life, not because of him or anything, but I just let him go. Now, I didn't do anything bad or wrong or anything, but the way he has it broke down in the books that I read here, it makes it so simple for me to understand now. I understand what is it hurt. what is it gonna hurt us at the end of our lives by doing what God tells us to do? Well, where is it gonna get us? It's gonna get us in heaven, right? You know, it's a beautiful life as it's supposed to be. If we don't, where are we gonna go? We're gonna go to hell. It's a couple of rules. God has 10 rules. We gotta follow those 10 rules. It's not that hard. It really isn't that hard.
You made it sound very easy. It really is, isn't
I'm
it?
telling you, it's easy. And I know life, listen, nobody's going through the hardest life in the world where I am right now, financially, and the things that are happening to me now in my life, but it's making me strong, making me strong.
And see, when you start, when you start focusing on this and you start wondering how this is going to work out, put the right people in your life.
Takes
You know,
one
the
day at a
support,
time.
the support that's sitting around here right now, and I'm not saying City of Angels is not the only organization out there that does what we do, but in this area, I mean, what you got right here, City of Angels, that's what we are. And the support that you have here, you got people right now in here from AA, from NA, you got people from Nar-Anon, you got people from Al-Anon, you got people that are on the board with City of Angels, you got, you know, you got family members. We come together to try to understand this thing, and none of us got it down. I mean, we got a Deacon Bill here, and he still learns, he's still going, you know. So this is something that you're not going to catch overnight. Don't try to get into this saying, and to see, this is an easy way, because as an addict, if we don't do it right the first time, we don't never try it again. And you're not going to do it right the first time. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. His faith is just believing that there's something out there stronger than what's getting to you right now. You don't have to understand it or know what it is yet. I know it's God, it's plain and simple. But when I started it, I figured, okay, dude, if you're for real, and that's how I talked to him, you know, dude, if you're for real, you got to help me out here. I don't understand. And he showed me. And it usually was somebody putting a person in my life. You know, and I say this all the time, is you sit and, well, I tried praying and praying don't work. Well, what you do is you pray and you expect God to drop it in your lap. And while you're sitting there waiting for this like this, going, come on, I got it, you know, all the things that he's given you is running right past you. And that sounds corny and stupid, but that's exactly what most of us do. Is we're sitting there like this and we're running back and forth, waiting for it to fall, and we're missing everything.